collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. Welcome to your timeless Path of True Love read part 1. There's an extended coming. I am your reader, Markangela Lyons. Mal for short. They're my initials. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998. Can you believe it? Author of Words of Grace from A Professional Witch, available on Kindle. Link in the description box. Really loved writing it. Hope you enjoy reading it. If you want to preview it for free, and you can also preview for free my Patreon, patreon.com/drawingthecircle. Busting a big move over there, teaching some stuff that I haven't taught in a while, and I'm ready to teach again. I've got 8 levels of subscribers there. All of my subscribers get the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s here. On YouTube, they also get me every morning in what we call a daily check-in, checking in on the astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, ending with a prayer, a blessing, a little something to send us on our way. And it's my favorite way to start the day. Yes, and I know it rhymes. But they get to chat with me, and it's lovely, and I do it from the couch using the laptop, cup of coffee, bathrobe. I just love it so much. And we're doing some really cool stuff over there. So if you want a deeper dive, a little bit more magic, miracles, mysticism, and Mal in your life, come Patreon on Patreon with the Archangel Lyons, Markangela Lyons, that massages. Just call me Mal. Bam! Hey, I do quite a bit before I get on camera. I mean, not just like the hair, the nails, you know, the lighting, all of that. I do rather, I would say, a rigorous bullet point checklist of spiritual practice, including meditation. And almost didn't do this reading today. Almost put it off because the intensity of what happened in it, I was like, am I going to be okay to do this? But once I grounded, the answer, the inspiration, the guidance was clear. Yes. So buckle up. I have no idea what's going to hit the table, but I'm good at these reads, and I think these timeless reads are the most important. Why? Because the path of true love is about you. Yes, it's about relationships, but it's about you because you're the common denominator in every relationship you have, including, you know, not just people, right? Money, you have a relationship with gravity and oxygen, right? Everything's relationships. So this is about helping you see your healing journey, your hero's journey, your spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it, your ascension path, the process of transformative alchemical deification, whoozy what's this, through the lenses of the soul contracts of the relationships in your life. So sometimes they're romantic, sometimes they're not. It doesn't matter, because heal one a little bit, everything shifts. Why? Because you're the common denominator, and the larger mystical part of this is that you actually become more true love, right? Truth and love, shadow light led to gold, pain to peace. That's why we're using archetype cards. So if you're new to this, there are tons of links in the description box going into that stuff. But let's get down to the read itself. In part 1, you're going to get 15 cards, 2 of these, 10 tarot cards, 2 oracles, and a healing mantra. And then from there, in the extended, there is a whole lot more. I've been saying you'll get 15, but I've been adding almost like a wild deck, like one jumps to me, so we've been throwing that in there. So that you can see where you are on the path of true love, right? So you can choose to be more of a hero than a villain. But honestly, twin flame soulmate, call it what you want. It ain't much of a hero's journey without villains, vampires, demons, and dragons, right? So yes, the romantic ones are the hardest ones, and that's why I do the romantic soulmate contract reads. Those are timeless. I'll get to them. A lot of them. If you're interested in looking at the back catalog on Patreon, they're there with the extendeds. But this is important because the more true love we bring to the planet, conquers all, right? Breaks all curses, all of that kind of stuff. The better this world gets, and we're anchoring true love into the Earth's electromagnetic field. So, both here on the floor if you can, focus on your breath if you will. And I will do the very best that I can to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace on this for the well-being of all. And the shift from explanation to divination tends to happen in the still point. So Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Using the Caroline Mace Archetype deck, this is coming in strong. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine. For the Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video and receiving this reading. 2 cards, please. One for party number 1. Could be the Sagittarius, could be the cross watcher, could be anyone, but what's the dominant 8th chakra archetype on the path of true love, and who is crossing their path? Could be the Sagittarius, could be the cross watcher, could be anyone, but the dominant 8th chakra archetype giving us the patterns of shadow to light, light to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, false to truth, fear to love for the Sagittarian and the cross watcher. We've got the mentor and the artist. This is off to an interesting start. Now, the wisdom family archetype, and the creative family archetype. You could say the artist is sort of like the major arcana of the creative family archetypal gestalt. But together, a mentor and an artist, like already, like if we're looking at this as a romantic thing, romance with a mentor isn't the healthiest dynamic, and we'll see why that is. But what's written on the card is the shadow attribute. Think of that as lead. The light attribute, think of that as gold. There are 3 atoms in between here and there that have to be released. Matter cannot be destroyed or created, it can only be transformed. So the alchemical process, spiritual alchemy, language of spiritual alchemy, is that, and that's what soul contracts are for, so that you shift to a healthier, more loving, wiser person, and as a result, your relationships all shift accordingly. So let's look at this. The mentor archetype, party number 1, the shadow attribute, inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instructions. Now, I have been on the other side of that as the mentee, which is probably why I don't mentor all that much. I'm a teacher, same family, but different archetype. What you're shooting for here, if this is you, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. So it uses the word student, which I associate with teacher, but apparently mentee is the correct word for that. Comment if I'm wrong, because I try and get the words right. And that's interesting unto itself. The artist crossing the path here, and this could be the Saggy just as easily here, the shadow attribute, using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. Now, I don't know that I've seen so much of part 2 in that in the world so much, but certainly I have seen it in part 1 of that, using talent as excuse to mistreat others, which is abuse, but can also be neglect, right? So there's a spectrum there within the lead, if you will. The light attribute, the gold that you're shooting for here, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. And as a Sagittarius vibe, that's very creative, mutable fire, right? The element of fire that is Sagittarius. So that creativity, right? Putting that out into the world, taking from the world beyond the 5 senses, which is the realm of the soul. The spirit, a 9th house dynamic is spirituality and expansion, a Jupiter energy. But so is the mentor wanting to share that. So as we go through this, you will feel this out. Hold on one second. It's got dry mouth, like out of nowhere. So it's too much coffee, probably. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to take 10, and I'll tell you 10 mythic tarot to now look at the chakric dynamics from the outside looking in, because that's what people want in part 1. What's going to happen in the physical world? Relationships in the physical world, because the 8th chakra sends down the codes to all the chakras, shifting what you attract and what you repel, so that you develop this soul power, heal this thing, complete this contract, but regardless, you do you, right? You have total free will and choice. And then in the extended, we'll use Daughters of the Moon to get the heart, throat, third eye, crown, the feminine, the inside, the behind the scenes, which is what people usually want in an extended read, in my experience. And then, like I said, we'll get some oracles and a mantra, and then we'll jump over to part 2. Ready? Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. All right. I call upon my gods of fire, the sign of Sagittarius, powers of the south. Please, beloved ones, of mutable fire, the arrows of fire, mutable, what we yearn for, what we burn for, what our hearts desire. 10 cards, face down, one at a time, Celtic Cross, for the Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers drawn to watching this video and receiving the energy of this reading. We've got the mentor in the cover. What crosses them? Lower 3 chakra, inside out, outside in. Lower 3 chakra deal. The artist crossing their path. What's at the core? Subconscious, but perhaps if they're tuned in, they might be aware of some of this stuff going on at the core. What's behind them? What's in their behind? What got them to this crossroads? What's crowning, hovering this? Could happen, probably will happen, probably can be delayed but not prevented, but there's usually an act of free will, because it is, after all, a crossroads. And decisions, choices, and what is before them on the path just around the corner once they cross this crossroad. What is the lesson? Universal learning template, negative influences, the stuff that kind of makes us grow. What do you want them to know, to learn on the path of true love from the outside, looking in, how the world sees this horizontally, like we were to walk in and see the two of you together? What would the vibe be? Lower 3 chakras, the destiny, the hopes and fears, handed fate, the hero takes the journey and manifests destiny, or suffers his fate if he doesn't. What do you got there? Lower 3 chakras for the Sag and the Crosswatcher. And the most probable outcome of the timeline of this lifetime for the Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, and Crosswatcher, path of true love, contract, a mentor, and an artist. Thank you. Let's go. Mentor. Ooh, 5 of Cups. Well, we're off to an emotional bang. Something has been revealed and some cups have been knocked over. The tea hath been spilled. This is the myth of Eros and Psyche. I'm pretty sure there's a link in the description box. I keep forgetting to check, but there is a YouTube video where someone does sort of like an animated panel by panel telling of the story of Eros and Psyche, and it's a long story, but essentially she sees the truth of something, and she breaks a vow as a result. It's tricky. So definitely a shakeup of emotion here. So, you know, the tea has been spilled, but there's an emotional reaction, most likely more than a response. The artist, however, when it's a major arcana card and a chakra read the way I do it, it's all 3 in this case. The Chariot. Also a water card, ruled by Cancer. Well, the Cancerian card. But this is Aries, the god of war. Come on, with the artist, this is a lot of fast motion. Something went on here. Now, if they just met, something you get over, right? But again, if this is a professional situation, this could be tricky. Like, don't always jump to the romantic. I know everybody wants to see it through those lenses, and sometimes it's obvious. That's why I wait for certain cards and certain intuitive clicks for me to just know beyond a doubt. But right now, we don't know that. So what's underneath all of this? Okay, good. 6 of Swords, lower 3 chakras. There is most likely communication here. There is most likely a desire for mental harmony, at least to communicate in a way, and that there is a journey through this, right? So regardless of the 5 of Cups going on one side of this contract, with the mentor, wisdom, right? To keep that in mind, that role, that archetype in play, then this is, in a way, at least an understanding of, we'll talk this out, we're taking a journey from choppy water to smooth, right? From the 5 of Cups via the 6 of Swords to the 6 of Cups. Lovely. Let's see. What's behind them? 3 of Wands. All right. These two must know each other, because at least solar plexus, there's some kind of bond there between them in terms of what they're willing to do, what they're not willing to do. Now, maybe a choice was made there where a cup was spilled, but with the Chariot here, it feels like this is a go. But what's going on with that 5 of Cups? Now, to say that the 5 of Cups is always a negative, right? It's not like that. Tarot's not like that. Archetypes, it's a scale, right? I mean, the 5 of Cups could go from the 4 of Cups of boredom and mad to, oh my God, right? But that's in a romantic context, perhaps. 3 of Wands, there is a loyalty here. The solar plexus feels like, you know, your honor code, your boundaries, your personal power here, that it feels like both of them, there's some kind of promise, something worth waiting for. What's crowning it? Okay, a time of inner reflection, the Page of Cups. I know the Page of Cups is, you know, offering message of love, and maybe the pages are messengers. We'll see what else hits the table, particularly in the extended read. What's the heart, throat, third eye crown behind this? That's going to tell you the why behind this what, which is how I read. I want to know behind the scenes. I am a Virgo with Pisces moon. I'm just Leo rising, so I make it, otherwise it wouldn't be on camera. A Page of Cups here is a narcissist, where we get the word narcissist from, but I don't think that's a narcissist card necessarily. But it is talking about often self-reflection, looking within, right? Particularly if this is in the subconscious, then there is a mental journey through this. This can be communicated if there is indeed conflict going on here. But it does feel like at least there was a mutual understanding of friendship and respect here at some point, and that may still be in place. So let's see. You know, not every contract read is calamity and mayhem, right? Sometimes it's a friendship. It's like, no, you like build on the strength. It's not always about, you know, healing a wound. What comes from this? This has come up, I think, a couple of times in the past few readings. The Moon card in the future. Cloudy with a chance of mystic meatballs, right? But it is Hecate in the mythic tarot, the goddess of witches, the crone of the crossroads. And here you are at the crossroads. Look, you're going to have to rely on your lower 3 chakra intuition to go by how things feel, not so much by what's going on in the head. The heart, sure, you want to balance the head and the heart, but that's in the extended. We're looking at the outside here. I would say, if anything, moving forward, go within, right? The crossroad you really need to cross is the one within, to your own self, your own soul, and alchemize this separately or together. But it does feel like there is a harmonious discussion sort of waiting to happen under the surface here. You're both on a journey. Let's see. The lesson, 10 of Cups, the true love card for me. This is, you want to mentor, party number 1 with the mentor. If you got this going on, then your lesson is this. You're learning about unconditional love, about that ecstatic love. And does that make this a romantic read? Lower 3 chakras. It could. But then again, there's the true love between parent and child when it's like that. I know not every contract is written like that. Believe me, I know that. I'm a reader. I've had clients for, it feels like, thousands of years. I am well aware, right? So that 10 of Cups, this is Eros and Psyche finally unite, except now she's elevated to goddess status. Talk about an upgrade. Talk about marrying up. So, you know, that's the lesson here, the emotional part of it. There might be a lot of water here. Now, if this is a professional mentor artist situation, you know, in a college, you know, whatever, that's a no-no. That's why the boundaries, if these are freely set, good. And that would make sense that maybe both of them, because it feels like the artist is like, I want it now. Mars is not necessarily patient, particularly in a Chariot, right? The motivation of the light horse, the inspiration of the light horse, I really want this, and the motivation of the dark horse, it's like, yeah, but we got to do it this way, and we got to do it that way in order to drive it forward and not split the fucker in half. Like wet balsa wood. Okay. Such a bad reference. I'm so sorry. Though probably none of you know the reference. Okay. So yeah, 10 of Cups is the ecstasy card. That's got to be intense. From the outside looking in. 10 of Swords, not bad. I mean, this, at least he's not stabbed in the back in the mud. But there is the sun rising. This is Athena and the Furies. And Athena saying, all right, enough's enough. Enough's enough of this. The Furies essentially work for the gods, right? The goddesses of vengeance. I know them. Actually really lovely behind the scenes, you know, when they're chilling out, letting their hair down. But Athena's like, okay, enough. enough. So it is the resolution of something. Now, you got a 10 following a 10. So if we were to meet you two, we'd go like, oh, there's something complete about this. Or perhaps there is a graduation, particularly if the mentorship, whatever form that takes, is over, right? It's like, I will not have romantic relationships with my clients, my students. Well, they're mostly women and I'm gay, so that's sort of a moot point. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, ethically, it's like, no, it's a power dynamic that never works. So if that is not the case, right? If this is not a literal mentorship, then you know, there is some romantic possibility here, but I'd be very, very careful. Not just in today's world, but ever, because you want, how do you walk the path of true love on the hero's journey without honor? 3 of Wands. So you got it, but now you're navigating through murky territory. It's going to take a bit more. So this should be hopeful. Where are you on the path of true love? Alchemizing fate to destiny led to gold. The 4 of Swords. Go in. Just go in. Just go, okay, we're just going to take a break. Right? Why not? There's a 6 of Swords way through this underneath it all, but it's not out here. It's in there. It's in there. Like Prego. And your outcome, the Magician. The Magician. That this will work itself out, but it's going to take your involvement. It's going to take a communication. Hermes at the crossroads. It's the way Juliet Sharman-Burke and the deck made, right? Right there. Your fire, your earth, your air, your water. Return. And so this could be actually, you end with an initiation. The Magician is the first card of the major arcana. The Fool is 0, which has no number, so it can't be the first or last or anything. It just simply is between everything, all at once. I wish I had Showtime, I would watch that movie. But not yet, apparently. Look, this is a very, very interesting, very, very powerful spread, and considering the meditation I had before, I'm not really shocked that it ends with that. But in terms of major arcana, you got 3, right? What's the spirit cards on the table? The Chariot, the Moon, and the Magician. That's a lot. So, let's get our last 3 cards on the table. Let me grab 2 of the Whispers of Love Oracle by Angela Hartfield. We're using her Whispers of Lord Ganesh to help remove the obstacles, the atoms between lead and gold in the extended, as well as we got the Blessed Bee, Lucy Cavendish. We've got the Archangel Fire Oracle from Findhorn Press, which is just off the scale. The Divine Animals Oracle, the Healing with the Angels Oracle, and 10 Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Work. Let's ask your higher selves, one for each of you. Please take a nice deep breath. Let's see if the party turns. Still point. Call upon the higher selves of all involved. 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. I need 2 whispers of love. One for party number 1, the mentor. One for party number 2, the artist. In this Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, and Cross Watcher. Timeless path, a true love read. What's the piece of information, inspiration, insight needed for party number 1? The same. What is needed? I don't know why it came out that way for party number 2 in this timeless true love read. I like this. The Mentor. Well, it's Whispers of Love, not the Whispers of Nightmare. The Mentor, 5 of Cups on the outer. Treasure your loved ones. It is important to love others deeply. That feels very internal. So if this is, you know, things were meh, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I'm in love and I don't know what to do. The cups have been spilled. Tricky. It's going to be tricky. It can be uncomfortable, but uncomfortable doesn't always mean something's wrong, right? The process of growth, the course of true love never did run smooth. Ain't that right, my Belzy, my Balthazar? You want to come sit with Mama? Just chill out, all right? No, I've got a Leo cat at my feet staring up at me with big owl eyes. Come on. Come on this side, at least they can see you. He's going to do what he wants to do. If I have to pause the video again, I will. Because this is really powerful, particularly the artist, right? Chariot on the outer, appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love. So, regardless of the situation, this is, hello, my good boy, my wubba wubba, my middle son, my Jan Brady, though he's a boy. You remember his name, Balthazar. This is very, very important, particularly for an artist. Appreciate this moment. Be inspired by it. Yeah, harness and direct the white horse of inspiration, but the motivation, the stick, right? The carrot and the stick, to really say, no, I gotta have my healthy boundaries about this. This is a journey. And document your process. You don't have to monetize it. In other words, not every artist is here to create content, but they are to create their reality regardless. Okay, work. That was good. Very inspired. They're passing around my crown chakra like open mic night up there. So let's ask the Ascended Masters of the Path that True Love. There are a lot of them. For a healing mantra, it doesn't matter which one you are in this, but it does often change the tone of what's going on, and a mantra is helpful, something you can say to yourself, rocking back and forth in the corner when things don't go your way, which is what a hero's journey is often about. Please take a nice deep breath. Little fairy ride to the underworld. Say hi to Charon for me. Please take one more. Still point. Because I have the River Styx speed pass. As I call upon the Ascended Masters, hopefully of humor, as well as the Ascended Masters. This is a fun read in its way, right? The Ascended Masters, come on, 10 of Cups is the lesson. One card in clarity, the Ascended Masters of True Love. One card in clarity for the Sagittarius Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and Cross Watchers. Watching this video and receiving this reading. A mentor and an artist meet at a crossroads. One's got some emotional cups going on, one where the other one's all charioted up and wanting to move forward. Yet there's this Six of Swords vibe that said this could be worked out, but it's going to take a journey. And Three of Wands behind them. They're pretty clear on who they are and what they want and what they will wait for and what they won't. Page of Cups, though, there is a time for inner reflection here. No immediate external needs to be taken, especially because it's cloudy with Hakate meatballs. Her recipe is wonderful, but, you know, transformative at the crossroads itself. So the lesson here is to just feel that love, that 10 of Cups, one would think, because cups are running over or have the potential to. How to handle that. With the 10 of Swords, there's definitely a resolution here. The pieces of the puzzle are in the table, and there might very well be an end of a cycle here in terms of what they thought this was. Hence, the Four of Swords is the perfect thing, lower 3 chakras, to do. Tune in, go within, take mental rest, focus on within, because that leads them to the Magician, where they'll be able to bring themselves into such an alignment that they can really take something from the crown chakra, alchemize it, and bring it down all the way into the root chakra, kicking off something new. As one treasures their loved ones, the other one appreciates this moment. I've been shuffling for a while because you're making me shuffle a while. What is the perfect healing mantra for the Sagittarius Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, Cross Watchers? Watching this video, receiving this reading in this timeless Path of True Love read. That was a lot of work. Integrating the ego. Everything is for me, not against me. That's a Saggy vibe, man. That's way more fun. Now, sound like fun integrating the ego, but I'll tell you, considering how some older spiritual traditions are destroy the ego, it's out to kill you, it's like, that's a bit much. that's a bit much. We'll integrate it. I'm okay with that, because it is the most dormant part of the soul, right? It's the egg, which goes to caterpillar, which goes to cocoon, which goes to butterfly, ego, personality, soul, higher self, human hero, immortal God. It's the foundation of my Patreon and my way of explaining spiritual awakening, integrating the ego. Everything is for me, not against me. Good luck with that. When your ego is integrated, there are no problems to fix or questions to answer. There are just the aligned responses of the soul's reality, acknowledging life as fertile ground where greater expansion is revealed. And that's what's going on here in a Sagittarius read. There is an expansion of perhaps a pre-existing relationship that the boundaries have to shift. As you integrate your egos, every moment can be seen as conspiring for your highest evolution instead of plotting against you. Now, I can understand, limitations are limitations. Some of them are necessary. Drive on the right side of the road in this country, but drive on the left side of the road in that country. That's good to know the difference, right? Just to, so to speak, a silver plate. This mantra is ideal for overcoming victimhood, being more grateful, and becoming more forgiving. Now, what is interesting about that is forgiveness is also the tricky alchemical element that transforms lead to gold, shadow to light, pain to peace, toxic to healthy. So what we have here is a mentor and an artist integrating the ego, and how they do that, we will have a look-see-dooksy in part 2. But I will say, with 10 of Cups on the table, what is your dominant vibe here? I mean, you've got quite a lot of major arcana cards, but I am seeing a balance of everything except, just double-checking, am I right? There's no element of earth. So actually bringing this in, that's going to take time, that's going to take rest. Treasure your loved ones, appreciate this moment, stay grounded, I think is what they're saying. And we're talking to Sages. So I'll put this together in a blessimation, and then the reading's over. We'll chat a little bit at the end if you want to get a private read or, just have fun. Please take a nice deep breath. It's a Sag read, I'm going to have fun. Still point. And here we go. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers watching this video and receiving this reading. May they be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love, particularly for party number 1. That they pass on wisdom and refine a student's character in a healthy, ethical way, which it would be in the gold. With that 5 of Cups spilled, something's going on there for sure, emotionally, and that party number 2 can express a dimension of life that's just beyond the 5 senses, helping others to see life symbolically, metaphorically, through whatever art, form, expression that is their bailiwick, because there is a journey here, and there are boundaries and loyalty in place here, so it's going to take some messages that are perhaps best received on the inner, reflecting, not being narcissistic, not being self-involved, self-absorbed, but going into self-love, self-reflection, a very different deal, particularly with the 4 of Swords coming, but we'll get there, because the way ahead they may not know, and it's okay to not know. That's how we grow, that's how we learn, that's how we evolve, that's how we take the hero's journey. They do. By the way, Luke, movie 1, Darth Vader's your dad, sorry, spoiler alert, right? No, he doesn't know that. Ben does. But Luke don't. So, make the way through, work with Hecate, find your way through the mist, because there is love here, and that's the lesson. There is cups overflowing here in a way that feels really good, and there is the end of this mental cycle here too. Maybe this mentorship has shifted to something else, but regardless, the answers lie within, as they always frickin' do. So to take some time for stillness, take space, take rest, take breath, right? Take time, bring that into place, to bring this all into alignment in a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise way, by treasuring your loved ones, appreciating the moment, and integrating the ego for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. That's a lot. As we will it. Simple, though. So let it be done. So motivating. So it is. It was good. If you liked it, like it. If it made sense, if it clicked, if it helped, certainly. And subscribe if you want more of me. This is my contract. Apparently, I'm not out of doing this yet. I may never. Who knows? But what I do know is you can come play Treon on Patreon. Field day over there. Woo! We're doing some stuff over there with the witch archetype at the time of this recording, February 1st. Woo! We're starting on a whole new thing on Patreon. So check the link. Click it and do what you like. I love you, and I do love you. And if you'd look to book me Mercury's direct, there's no excuse. If you would like to book me for a private reading, there's a link in the description box to a video called Booking a Reading with Mal. What a shock, what a surprise. Explains everything you ever wanted to know about booking a reading with Mal, but perhaps we're afraid to ask. But as I always say, I've never met a Sagittarius I was afraid to ask anything. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this serves you well, and you can jump over to Vimeo.com if you would like to pay per view and see the other side of this. But again, all of my patrons get all the extendeds, past, present, and future. So thank you for watching. I love you. Hang in there. Integrate the ego. Heal. Hail. Farewell. And blessed be.